It's so good to see you again, Russell, after many years, and you're holding your own. Thank you for joining us today.
Aloha, Laila. Good to see you after all these years.
Please share with us what your company does and why serving the community has become so much a part of what your family does.
We're in the food industry, food business. We're a distributor, wholesale distributor. And if you look at the industry, it's broken up into grocery retail on one side and food service restaurants on the other. So we service the restaurants and food service industry. We do all the military in the state. We do mostly all the schools in the state, most of the hotels and a lot of the restaurants, most of the restaurants, I would say. We're a pretty major factor as far as food distribution in Hawaii. Within our company, about 98% comes direct from the mainland, unfortunately. I'm currently on a mission to try to help accelerate food sustainability in Hawaii. And when you look at what happened during COVID, when you look at if there were a hurricane that really did hit us, a bunch of different numbers, but I would estimate Hawaii has maybe 2 weeks supply of food. Lucky 2 weeks. If you talk to some of the produce people, they'll say 3 to 4 days. Now, I normally have about a month's supply, but that's only for my customers. So if you open up the whole thing, we can have 2 weeks most. So it's critically important for us to start becoming self-sufficient in the food area. And the exciting part is there's a lot of activity going on right now.
You know, Russ, what we saw during the pandemic, or at the beginning of the pandemic, was people hoarding supplies and food and water and toilet paper. Those kind of fear behaviors are human behaviors that happen. So when you talk about your mission to make sure we have enough food, what does that look like to you?
You know, I've been in this business all my life, and I've been through quite a few hurricanes and natural disasters. And I just was talking to someone in government saying, you know what really amazes me? I have never been called once. And I'm one of the largest food supplier in the state. And if food is important, why am I not part of the emergency side of it? And also looking at all the initiatives the government and private industry has taken to try to improve food sustainability in Hawaii, one piece they always miss is the distribution side, the efficiency of distribution. So the good part is I'm really excited about, we have about 7,000 farmers in Hawaii. And obviously, a ton of them are very, very small. There's like 3% that does over $250,000 a year. So the 97%, there's a lot of movement with farm to table, with community packages, CSA, with farmers markets. It's not moving the dial very much. We actually need some big players to really move the dial on creating enough food for the local people. You know, and if you look at history, 800,000 Hawaiians were self-sufficient just a few hundred years ago. You know, obviously we can't get back to that area, but there's a lot more we can do. And if we all work together for the common good of Hawaii and the future, I think it'll pay off in dividends.
Won't it take a paradigm shift, a whole different way of looking at who we are, where we live, the value of agriculture? You know, I think we've been around long enough that we've seen things improve. At the same time, as you said, moving the dial further ahead.
Especially the young people, but everybody in the state, to understand that climate change is here. It's happening. It's affecting us. And one day, a big chunk of our island may be underwater, where my warehouses is going to be underwater. And to get product into Hawaii is going to get tougher whenever there's a natural disaster. But I think if we all realize that the action needs to be taken now, we have to start today and start doing everything we can to help local food sustainability, to start paying a little more for the local products. And on that end, I think technology itself can get it to the point where we can compete with importing food. And bottom line is we have to do it smart. We have to work together. A lot of the people in Hawaii are scared. They want to hold on to what they have as opposed to looking at what's good for all of Hawaii. So, in other words, take the I out of it and me and everything, and let's look at the what's best for the whole state.
So as we wrap up our conversation today, what's a question that you would want to have answered, or that you would ask people, the community, to ask elected leaders, visitor industry folks? What do we need to be asking in order to actually have action?
Everyone should look in the mirror and ask themselves, what role do I want to play to help food sustainability in Hawaii? What role do I want to play to help my kids and my kids' kids, our keikis, keiki, to have a better future in Hawaii? What do I need to do today? When I look at what's going on with the government, HB 767, something like that, 30% of the institutions, the schools, 30% needs to be local products. And the government is doing a lot actually right now. We got to get more private industry involved. I hired someone full-time to help me with food sustainability. I'm looking at this thing and I'm really excited where things are going. But we need everyone's participation.
Well, thank you so much for your inspiration, your vision, and your commitment to this, because I hear it in your voice that it's something that it's part of your legacy that you definitely want Waihata to represent. So thank you so much.
Thank you for the time, and yes, we really do want to help. As one of our motto is, Hata cares.
That's pretty clear. Thank you, Russ.
Thank you, Lila. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for listening to my conversation with Russell Hata, Chairman, President, and CEO of Waihata and Company.